Hello. So it has been a long, hot minute since I updated you guys. So I'm going to do my best to fill you guys in for what's happened over the last 3 or 4 weeks. And I'm trying to remember the last video that I posted and what it was. So I had my surgery about 3.5 weeks ago. And so just kind of giving you a cap of before my surgery. So I was on my high protein diet, and I ended up having this huge situation. I had a pretty significant death in my family, and I fell off the bandwagon for my high protein diet for about 3 days. Pretty much just dealing with life at the moment and just doing the best that I can. And so after my 3 days of not doing my high protein diet in the middle of my 2 weeks for my pre-op stuff, I ended up getting back on the bandwagon and knocked out my high protein diet. The day of surgery was crazy in my life. So it started out, my husband and I got up and we got in the truck, and we started driving to Indianapolis. So we live about, 45 minutes north of Indianapolis, Indiana. And we were on the interstate, and his truck gets a flat tire. I mean, this is in the middle of I think it was 4:00 in the morning. So nobody's going to stop and help somebody on the side of the road at 4 a.m. So my husband and I are out there, and he's working on changing the tire, and, I'm in just comfy clothes because at this point I thought we were going to be at the hospital. And next thing we know, we're halfway through. It took us almost an hour to change his tire. Halfway through, and it just starts storming and legit soaked my husband and I all the way down to our underwear. Not a dry drop of anything on us. And so after we finally got the tire changed, we took the truck back to our house because we were probably 15 minutes away from our house at that point when we got the flat, and swapped out vehicles after that crazy experience and drove my van down to Indy. I thought we were going to be late because the surgery center had told me to be there at 5 a.m. But my surgeon's office told me to be there at 6 a.m. So I was planning on being there at 5 originally. We pulled in it was 6:30, right on the dot. Everything ended up being good though. I got in, and I actually had a really bad sunburn too, because I'm a glutton for punishment. And my surgery was the Wednesday after Memorial Day. So my husband and I and our family went out on our boat on that Monday, and we were burnt to a crisp. And so I got my surgery done. My surgeon said everything went beautifully. I actually got out of my surgery earlier than expected even. I would say in the hospital, the first day and a half was awful. I am the kind of person that I really don't like to take pain medication. And in this situation, I highly recommend taking the pain medication, letting it help you relax so that you can heal a little bit better. I was in so much pain the first day and a half that, I literally was I didn't want to eat anything anyways, just because of the surgery. But on top of that, they wanted you to try, and I couldn't even try because I was in so much pain. So about a day and a half of that, and I was like, okay, I give in. I will take the pain medication. So after that, everything went really smooth. I started feeling a million times better. I started eating pretty decently. I wasn't having any issues getting my fluid down, which I know a lot of people talk about, the issues with getting the amount of fluid you need down. And so I really didn't have any of those issues. I was pretty blessed. Let's see. When I left the hospital, I was feeling confident. I was like, man, I am going to rock this. I feel great. If I continue to feel better and better every day, like I could totally go back to work in a week. Like I had no worries about that at all. And then I started coughing. And so my surgery was on a Wednesday. The following Monday, I ended up going to my primary care because I had a doctor's appointment anyways with her. And I told her, I said, you know what? Honestly, I feel great. I just can't stop coughing. And the coughing has now caused a lot of pain in my abdomen from my surgery. And I had 6 little incisions. They were probably like, I don't know, 1.5 inches long each. And, but I just hurt so bad from the coughing. So she was worried about it. She ended up doing like a chest x-ray and everything else just to make sure that I was okay. And it turns out that I had gotten pneumonia. So that totally sucked. I'm not going to lie. It was a huge damper on my parade. I thought I was going to be in and out and I was going to be back at work and it was going to go perfect and my whole plans for my PTO were going to be awesome and I was going to take a vacation this summer. And I ended up having to be off work for an extra week, and which doesn't seem like that big of a deal. But I was really trying not to have to use any of my extra PTO and get back as soon as possible. So I ended up coughing so hard from the pneumonia that I actually ripped my muscle. So I ripped my muscle from one incision to another, and it was the most excruciating pain ever. Like, I have had 4 kids. I've had surgeries, and that muscle being ripped the way that it was extremely painful. So I ended up, a week after I found out I had pneumonia, I ended up going into the hospital because my pneumonia wasn't getting better. And I was hurting so bad from the ripped muscle that I just couldn't function. So they admitted me to the hospital, and it turns out I had viral pneumonia, which doesn't respond to antibiotics or anything like that. So that was a bummer. That had to kind of like figure its own self out. So I started getting better and better, and for the muscle, they ended up doing a nerve block. So I was actually really, really frustrated because when I had gone into the emergency room, sorry guys, my arm got tired. When I went into the emergency room, the ER staff was absolutely horrible. And I normally don't say that about organizations or anything, but they were really rude. They didn't believe me that I was in pain, which I felt kind of attacked a little bit. And I was really hurt by it because it's like, why am I here? If I'm going to be suffering in pain and you're not going to help me, then I might as well just go home and snuggle my babies and suffer in my bed, right? And so they ended up keeping me, though, because of the pneumonia. So I got up to the bariatric floor and talked with some really awesome doctors and found out, and this is something that I had done a lot of research before I had my surgery, and I'd never seen anybody tell me about this or have this experience. And when it happened to me, the surgeon and the anesthesiologist were like, oh, this is actually more common than you would think. So I'm not sure why I didn't see somebody out there have the same experience. But so when I ripped that muscle from coughing, it inflamed the nerve in my abdomen, one of the nerves in my abdomen. And so on top of the ripped muscle, I also had severe nerve pain from inflammation. And apparently it's kind of common, at least according to the doctors at the bariatric center in Carmel. But I had just never heard of it before. So I ended up getting a nerve block done in my abdomen, and it was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me when it comes to pain. So I was in so much pain when I was in the hospital, and within 5 minutes of them doing that nerve block on my abdomen, like, I felt like a new person. I was like, I could literally go outside, do jumping jacks, run. Like, I felt so much better. So, that was crazy, to be honest. The nerve block got a little bit, like, I started feeling pain again the next day, which apparently is totally normal. So, like the 6-hour anesthesia that they put in there, or whatever it's called, it numbs it, but then it takes up to 5 days for the steroids that they injected into my nerves to actually take full effect. So, the next day I woke up at home because I was like, get me out of this hospital as soon as possible. So I went home at like within an hour after getting my nerve block. And then I woke up the next day and I felt really tender again, but it wasn't near what I had experienced. So I was like, okay, well, this sucks, but at least it's way better than what it was. So, as the days went on, it just kind of got better and better and better. So, just for people out there that are just starting this journey, it is something I'd never heard of before. So, I really, really want people to know that apparently it's common. According to my doctors, it was. I just have never heard about it before. And I was kind of a little disappointed because I felt like I went in extremely prepared and ready for whatever was thrown at me because I'd done so much research, and I was a little disappointed by that. So, not that I was disappointed that I was disappointed that I hadn't heard about it, or I wasn't mentally prepared for that happening. So, as far as the eating goes, it's really been pretty good. I want to say, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I cheated a couple of times. But really it came down to, I was just trying to progress through the levels a little bit faster than I, originally was supposed to. I have not cheated on sugar. I am like scared to death of having dumping syndrome, and I know everybody has it at one point, but, I've been really, really, really particular in like watching sugars in everything I eat. I don't eat anything that is over like 12 grams of sugar, period. I don't care how good it looks. I have found things that kind of help with the craving if I'm craving a certain thing. So, like there's actually protein bars that are supposed to, let's just leave that there, taste like, if you wanted like a chocolate donut or something, let's just say that. Just because those are ones I have in my fridge right now. It's actually like a protein bar. But it's supposed to simulate like stuff like that. Or there's ones that are like, they simulate Rice Krispie treats. I haven't tried those yet or anything like that, but, I mean, they're not bad. Definitely not a donut, but, I mean, I think that it would help me not make a bad decision if I was ever in a situation where there were donuts and I wanted one, but I didn't want to cheat, so, or have dumping syndrome. So, I had my follow-up with my doctor earlier this week, or last week, and, I'm down 20 pounds. So in 3 weeks, I, have lost 20 pounds, which I'm really excited about. The, third week also has kind of hit me with a plateau. So, which when I talked with my doctor about that, he said that's totally normal. It's kind of your metabolism trying to just figure life out since things are so different now. I got really sick of cottage cheese and yogurt, like really fast. So I tried to get kind of creative with my shakes and get creative with different things because, it was not fun, to be honest. The best thing that I had in the hospital, which is super funny, was this cream of chicken soup, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're like tiny cups, okay? So we're talking about an ounce of cream of chicken soup and an ounce of homemade mashed potatoes. Like, that's what I had ordered, and it was so good. I was shocked. The yogurt, the cottage cheese, I don't like applesauce, so that kind of sucks. I ate the crap ton of sugar-free popsicles. Kind of got burned out on those too. I found some other options of things that can kind of fill that gap, but maybe not necessarily the sugar-free popsicle that you get so tired of from the hospital. I found out that I have a sensitivity now, which is also common. I knew this going in, that this was a risk, but I have a sensitivity to lactose. So that is something that is definitely more common after you have a RNY. I'm hoping that doesn't last my entire life, but if it does, I mean, it is what it is. So I can't eat things like sugar-free ice cream. That makes me super sick. I can't drink milk or put milk in smoothies. It makes me super sick. When I eat cheese, though, it's not like I don't get super sick, but it definitely helps with flow of things. So I know that I do have a intolerance for lactose, though. We'll see how long that lasts. I hope it doesn't last forever, but if it does, that's okay. I'll figure it out as I go. So I found some like lactose-free, sugar-free chocolate, like, I don't want to say popsicles, but they're chocolate, like ice cream popsicles. They are not bad. And I don't know if that's because I can't eat anything that is like that, or if they really aren't bad, but they taste really good to me. So I got them at Kroger. So if you are from, the Midwest, you probably will know what a Kroger is. I got them at Kroger, and the Kroger brand, like their little off brand, they're really cheap. I think it was like $1.50 for 8 of them, something crazy like that. But if I'm needing like a chocolate fix, I've done that too. Let's see. At this point, when I met with my doctor last week, I did get finally released officially to eat solid food. So they actually made it a point to tell me that they wanted me to eat more like chicken and deli meat and stuff like that. So if you are going into trying to decide if it's the right fit for you as far as a RNY gastric bypass, I was really freaked out because all the people that I talked to said they spent 6 months on like friggin' all kinds of special diets and everything else. My doctor is very different than what I've seen in videos and stuff. So, not saying that this will be like that for everybody, and I probably will get some mad crap, but for saying this publicly, but I mean, really, when it comes down to what you should and shouldn't do, your doctor and you are going to know what's best to make a plan for you. So, my doctor from the beginning was pretty open and honest, and he was just like, I mean, you can have whatever you want, just avoid things like, bread and sugar and, carbonation. But he's like, if you want to have, scrambled eggs day 2, like, just chew it really, really good. You want to chew it extremely well. And, and so I kind of had the confidence to kind of push the boundaries a little bit because my doctor seemed pretty confident in me in following those specific guidelines. So, I haven't really had issues with food, too much. The biggest thing I think is the head hunger. Like, I'm not hungry physically, but in my head I'm like, oh, well, it's time to eat because, it's noon or something like that. And So that's been the biggest thing for me, is kind of figuring out when I should and shouldn't eat. Also, if I wait too long, it hits me like really, really hard that I'm starving. Like if I won't feel hungry, and then maybe I've waited too long to eat lunch or something, and then I'm starving, and I will try to, naturally, before surgery, I would have just scarfed something really quickly, just to get that feeling to go away. And you can't do that. You cannot scarf. You have to eat slow. If you scarf, it's not that you're going to be in pain, but you have some extreme discomfort that will keep you from doing that again. I promise. So, that's been another struggle for me, is the, learning how to eat, which sounds super silly because I'm 29 years old and I'm pretty sure I'd figured out how to eat. That's how I'd gotten in this situation with my weight. But, yeah, figuring out and learning how to eat again when it comes to after your RNY or any gastric bypass is, been a struggle for me. So, unlike a lot of people I've seen have issues with, salad and things like that. I have not had any issue with salad. Like I said, I've been pretty blessed with, my, tolerance for things. I would say, besides the dairy, I really have been able to tolerate most things. So yeah, I think that it comes down to your doctor, and the procedures that they want you to follow. So that's could be something when you are shopping for a doctor to talk to them about. I just happened to fall in with Dr. Diaz. It wasn't something that I particularly sought after when I was looking for a surgeon. I really was more focused on people that I knew had it, that had great outcomes, and what surgeon they use. So Dr. Diaz with the Bariatric Center in Carmel, Indiana, that's who I used. He's been wonderful the entire time. I have really, really appreciated him, his expertise. He's very knowledgeable. He's been doing the surgeries, the RNY for 25, 30 years. So he's been in the business for a long time, and he knows what he's doing. So I started my pre-surgery weight. So the morning I went in for surgery, I was 314.7 pounds. So, and I'm getting a little bit more confident saying that out loud to people, because, I'm told you all from the beginning that I would be open and honest about everything. A lot of people are like, oh no, that's no way. But yeah, I started my journey. I was 314.7 pounds the day I went in for my surgery. When I was in the hospital, I weighed myself again, and I actually gained 5 pounds in the hospital. And I was super shocked and what the crap is happening? I'm confident and 100% certain it was all fluids. They had so much fluids pumping through me that my hands, my feet, everything was swollen. I itched from being so swollen. It was really, really tough. So I ended up, I don't even remember. I was so sick at first with the pneumonia that I really didn't even bother to weigh myself. The next time I weighed myself, it was I don't remember. It was June 10th or something. And I had lost 15 pounds at that point, or something along those lines. Then when I went to my doctor's office, for my follow-up, I'd only lost 17 pounds or something like that. And I was on that plateau. And then I weighed myself yesterday, and I was 294 pounds. So, I'm pretty excited about my progress so far. I'm just, I have this really cool app. I don't remember the name of it. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so apparently when I went to get the app, it like canceled my video. So it's called My Weight, and it's really, really cool to track your weight in that, and it shows you like you can set goals. So right now it shows I am 17.8% to my first goal weight. So my first goal weight with my doctor with my height is 195 pounds. So I am 99 pounds from my first weight goal. I'm really excited about that. I have full confidence, and my doctor does too, that I will definitely hit that within probably the next, hopefully 6 months to 8 months. I'm going to shoot for 6 months because that's just the kind of person that I am. I'm a little competitive in life. So, I'm going to try to hit that in 6 months is my first goal. So November 1st is my goal for hitting that weight. That is definitely not where my doctor says I will stop. That's just where I get into the normal BMI healthy weight range for my height. So I'm 5'8". So once I hit that first goal, then we're going to discuss like next goals. But my original goal, honestly, when I started this process, was anything under 200 pounds. I haven't been under 200 pounds since literally middle school. And if you know me, you know that a couple years ago, I went on this huge health kick, and I really was super successful. I was using a medication called Adipex, and it helped me shed weight quick. But even then, at my lowest weight, I was only 220 pounds. So, and that was, I had hit like a brick wall kind of thing with it. And then I got pregnant with my twins, and it just went all uphill from there, or downhill, depending on what side you're on. So yeah, so I have not been under 200 pounds since my middle school days. So that was my goal. My goal was to be under 200. I don't care if it was 199. I just wanted to be under 200. I wanted to see a 1 on the front of my scale. And so, that's honestly my first goal, is just to hit the 195. That's my doctor and I's goal. So, I can't wait to finally tell you guys that I hit that, but I still have a long ways to go. But I'm feeling really confident with it. So, I will update you guys. I'm going to try to go every week and update you guys, over a lunch break sometime, but, just wish me luck, and, we'll go from there. So if you have any questions or comments, drop me, a comment or something down below, and, I will definitely try to answer any questions. If you are someone that's been toying with it, even with everything that I've been through with my surgery, I'm only 20 pounds down at 3.5 weeks. I am so excited and pumped about this. I have no doubts about what I have done. I'm really, really excited about it. So, and I'm thankful that I am doing it. So instead of waiting, I had a lady in one of my pre-op classes, and she was like 70 years old. And, I don't want to wait you're never too old to start it, but I don't want to wait that long. I wanted to get it done, and I wanted to really start that journey so that I can have a healthier me for longer of my life. And so if you're somebody that's toying with it, don't wait another minute if it's the right decision for you, or just to get healthy, to be honest. That's the whole point of this, is I really want to be healthy. It's kind of inspired my family a little bit. Or maybe it's just inspired my cooking, which hasn't forced my family. I don't know. So my kids love, I know I told you I was going to let you go, but my kids love Hamburger Helper stuff. Like, legit, throw in the carbs, throw in the meat. They love it all. Cheese, good. So I started kind of playing with different ways to cook food. And so I started, and I made I fried up some turkey burgers. So it's the first time I ever had turkey burger. It really was pretty decent. Fried up some turkey burger. And then in the frozen section at Kroger, you can get veggie noodles. And not like spaghetti zucchini noodles. I'm talking about, these are legit panini noodles. They look like panini noodles, but they're 100% vegetables. And so you can get them in like the steamable bags or something like that. So I got some of those noodles that are veggie noodles, and it has like a cheese sauce, like a low carb cheese sauce on it. So I fried up my turkey burger and I steamed my noodles in the microwave. And I just literally dumped it all in, stirred it up, added some shredded cheese, and my kids went ham on that. Jacob, my oldest, he ate, I think, like 3 plates of it. He loved it. So, and if you don't know me or my family, I have 4 kids, and they are all skinny minis. Like, I don't know where they got it from, because my husband and I both are definitely obese, and so I don't know where they got it from, but they are little beanpoles, and so they went ham on it, though. They loved it so much. So I am definitely looking forward to doing some more things like that, just to try to kind of influence their eating habits a little bit more. We've been doing a lot of fresh fruit at my house too. Bananas have been kind of sucking. I live in the county, and fruit flies and gnats suck. So I've been really kind of picky about the banana situation. But as far as all of the other fruits, my kids are like, that's kind of what they do. I give them free reign of fruits and veggies and stuff like that. So, okay, if you're still with me, I appreciate you hanging in with me, and I will update you guys next week. Thank you. Bye.